Hello, and welcome to Recent Activity, your new favorite entertainment review podcast that attempts to cover every film, every show, all at once. I am your co-host, Andrew Morgan. With me, as always, is our own tornado wrangler, Mr. Shane Beauregard. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, but I'm not wrangling any tornadoes on this one.
Well, I don't know, man. You're in Hollywood South where the weather can change any minute. You don't get tornadoes, though, do you? It's mostly hurricane season down there?
Mostly hurricanes. We have a couple tornado warnings, one touchdown, but not too often.
Okay. But no flying cows, nothing to report over there. Well, that's good. But you're doing all right otherwise? You're doing good?
Yeah, man. I'm excited about tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to do the top fives. I kind of want to check in with some of the stuff because, we took last week off, and that was my fault because I was moving and I was arrogant, like, oh, no, we could still do it. No. When you're moving, dude, it's like way too much effort to like try to move in all your stuff, let alone like, oh, yeah, let me set up for podcasting too. It's like so hard. So I appreciate you being patient with me out there, and you as well, Shane, of course. But yeah, of course, we watched a bunch of stuff. Like I watched Twisters over the weekend, which dominated the box office. Did you see? Like
I did.
That's it's on pace to do like probably top 5 of the year numbers at this point.
That's crazy.
Like basically, freaking Dune numbers or whatever. It's crazy to see. You're right. And then of course we missed out on our Longlegs conversation. So we got all that to talk about too. But of course the headline of this episode is we wanted to do our top 5s of the year so far because, we're past the halfway point now. I'm sure Shane is not crying that the boys ended, so maybe he could sneak that in there. We'll see if that's the case. And of course, I should have done the lobbying for waiting yet another week, so maybe Presumed Innocent gets on the list.
I know.
So we all have our cross to bear. And speaking of the bear, the bear was this version of that last year. We were talking off mics where it's like I tried desperately to get all those episodes in before we did the top 5 episodes, and I didn't, so it hurt that I couldn't put it in there, and of course ended up being like my number 1 of the year. You do what you gotta do. But in this episode, like I said, we're gonna just touch on some stuff we've watched over the past couple weeks here, as well as give our top 5s. Is there anything that's not in your top 5, maybe that you watched recently that you want to talk about? Did you want to do, I don't know if either say Longlegs or Land of Bad or anything like that is not in your top 5 and you want to discuss it?
I can say Longlegs is not my top 5.
Okay. So
we can discuss Longlegs.
Okay. Well, then let's start there. I mean, this is of course a movie that we were like, I'm not going to get into, I was so in the hype train, the Micah Monroe video where it's like her heart rate went crazy when she first saw Nicolas Cage as Longlegs in that interrogation scene. So that I was so hyped going into that movie. And it was, I don't know exactly what the business was. I know it was I think it was the biggest release for Neon. In terms of like biggest opening weekend and all that. And of course, the trailer was so creepy, and people are saying like, oh, this is the scariest movie of the decade or in a decade or any whatever hyperbole was out there. And this is of course directed by Osgood Perkins. It has Nicolas Cage as the titular Longlegs, Micah Monroe, as I said, and Blair Underwood as well for some reason. This is of course kind of like a serial killer movie. They really try to make it kind of a thriller in that regard. A little bit of a satanic panic stuff because we're coming, of course, I was saying to you with Maxine where it's like, oh, great, another satanic panic thing. And then this one has a satanic angle. And I'm like, come on. But I will say, because I want to keep this brief, this was a movie that I thought was going to be like a top 5 movie, but it's not for me either. But I still enjoyed it. I gave it a 3.5 out of 5 because I'll tell you, like, Cage is outstanding. And like, I loved what they did with kind of his makeup and everything to make him look just not Nick Cage enough. But ultimately they kind of neutered him in the end. There's a lot of creep factor in here that, the doll's eyes lighting up under the black sheet might be scarier than Longlegs was, because it's kind of stuck with me every time I see the image on Twitter. And it's another one of those movies that is good, not great, wanted it to be great. And it's another one also that everyone is weird in this movie, so there is no real kind of normalcy to fall back to. And they really get off the sort of normalcy in the beginning off real fast. So what did you think of Longlegs?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed. That's my own fault because, again, I got into the hype and I hyped myself up just like we talked about. So I was, knee deep into this movie, and the theater was packed when I went and saw it. I mean, it was a full house.
Saw it with John from The Pint too. He was there as well. Surprise. Nice.
Yeah, it was packed. And I liked, like most movie this year, I liked 3/4 of the movie. It wasn't scary at all. It just wasn't. So I don't know what the hell they were talking about. It was more creepy, get under your skin kind of vibe. I liked the way it was shot. I thought all the performances were just insanely good, especially Alicia Witt as the mom. Yeah. Thought she was fantastic. Too much of Silence of the Lambs, with the green FBI agent not really ready to take on said case, right? And it just evolves into too much of the supernatural with the dolls, and I won't ruin it, but that whole third act with Blair Underwood and that whole scene, I think is the only movie I can remember in a long time where the movie ended. You can hear a mouse fart in the movie theater.
Yeah,
everyone just got up and just kind of walked out silently, like, what the hell? What was that?
Yeah.
And it kind of left a little sour taste in my mouth, or else I would have rated this movie higher because I love a lot of the elements in this movie. And Nick Cage turned to 11. But it was good. It was good turn to 11, Nick Cage. Sure. And I thought a lot more than I probably should have about this movie because it just hangs with you for a while. You're like, and you're trying to work stuff out in your head. Like, what the hell? Okay, anyway, that all being said, if you haven't seen it, it is worth a watch, but it's not scary. It's not going to scare you out of your seat. It's more creepy, and the performances were outstanding. So I ended up giving it a 3.5 as well.
Yeah, I didn't say it, but I totally agree with you that I loved the way this was shot too. Especially, and a way he handled the mood of it too, and to let in the creep and really kind of sit with it, and a lot of the music. The interesting part, and I don't know if you knew this too, Oz Perkins basically made a serial killer movie when he hates that society glorifies serial killers. So he wanted to make Nicolas Cage basically be a loser. Okay. So his backstory was basically like some dude who got really into glam rock, hence all the T-Rex stuff and whatever, and then just kind of got into the satanic stuff through rock music and just kind of started going further into the bent until he went crazy.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah. So how did you feel like they handled that, where it's like Longlegs is Longlegs until he's not, and then it's like, that it's not something where we're doing a chase into the end kind of a thing with that character?
Honestly, disappointing.
Yeah.
Very disappointing. When it happened, I'm like, oh, disappointing. It was anticlimactic, disappointing.
Yeah.
That's what that's where the movie kind of started sliding off the cliff for me. I was right there.
Right.
I was right there. And then the last 25 minutes or so, I was like, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm not always great with the invisible hand doing stuff and just kind of going with that. So, but it's a weird year. I know we're talking about top fives this year. Horror, loving the devil this year, loving the satanic stuff, loving every that. So some to very good degrees, some to okay degrees. So but apparently we're really loving it this year, so that's interesting. I'm glad we're on the same page though. That 3.5 is pretty accurate, and I haven't looked into the scores recently, but I think it's similar to that, or at least maybe a tick up, because I think some people really fell in love with the performances, which I get. That's cool. Yeah. I also saw Twisters. I don't think you did, right? Because you were just like, you go do your thing, dude.
Yep.
So I was surprised at how engaged I was with Daisy Edgar-Jones. I thought she was really good in this movie, and she's not going to get talked about as much as Glenn Powell, so I figured I'd lead with that. And I'm never surprised that Powell is just so commanding and so charming, and this one is no different. Some of the tornado sets were cool. Like they did a movie theater screen and like hiding in a movie theater in like the end set piece that was pretty cool, where like the screen gets sucked out of the wall basically, and the tornadoes are there for you to see like it's on a movie screen. It's pretty cool to watch. So they had some fun stuff, a lot more science in this one to save lives, like almost like a redemption story arc in this one. So I thought that worked pretty well. And there's also I don't know if you've seen, there's been some controversy over like there's a no kiss ending, like the two don't kiss, like he chases her down at the end and still there's nothing. So people are like, oh come on, like when it's Glenn, two attractive people, I guess they
Right.
just wanted it, but they made it more about like the science and like what they're good at and everything else, and I actually appreciate that, so that's pretty cool. Apparently there's also some hoopla about there's a scene where Glenn Powell is in a white t-shirt walking out into the rainstorm, and you're like, Jesus, we're gonna get all kinds of sensual up now. So I think people lost their mind on that one, maybe quite rightly. And to me, it was a good time at the movies, but I'm not gonna like run out to like be like, oh man, you should go see Twisters. I mean, it's a good time, like they're not going to be disappointed. My parents liked it, if that means anything. It's pretty boomer core-ish, in terms of that, but obviously with younger stars that will appeal to the younger generation as well. So it's probably, a 3.25, somewhere around there. It's just like a tick below all the like the movies that are more prominent and might end up on lists later, but it's good. And it just proves again that Powell is just on that trajectory, and I'm interested to see where he goes next. In fact, I haven't looked in a while. Do you know if he has a movie on the docket after this?
I have not seen one, no.
Okay, because I haven't even like seen a rumor,
Nope. No, actually, I did see a rumor today, him being linked to the James Gunn DC universe in some aspect.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see. I mean, obviously, anything blockbustery, I'm like, sign me up. Very cool, man.
Yeah.
With a year with Hitman and Twisters coming off of Anyone But You and Top Gun Maverick, I mean, dude can't miss. So he's doing a great job. Anything else that you wanted to touch on before we get to the top fives?
No, I think I'm ready to rock.
Even like trailers and such, because I know there's been a flurry of them lately. I love the Conclave one. I'm really into Conclave. I don't know if you saw the trailer for that one.
I have not. The only trailer I saw before, but I saw a different trailer this time, was for Cuckoo, which I'm all on board
Oh,
for
yeah.
Cuckoo.
I've been on that train. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Sounds good, man. Then let's get to our top fives of the year. Which do you want to start with, TV or movie? I think TV.
Let's go TV.
Yeah, because I think...
You want to go TV first?
Yeah, I think so. Because this was the one that I had probably the most trouble with, mostly because of order. I think the actual shows themselves, I think, work pretty well, but it was just that the five that I wanted in terms of the order, especially if we're not counting Presumed Innocent as one of them. So how do you want to do this? You want to just rattle off the fives and then we'll discuss? Because I think we're probably going to have a lot of crossover.
Yeah, I think we will have some crossover. So we could go. Whoever wants to start, I could give 5 to 1, and you could do your 5.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So my number 5. Now this is a curveball. This came out earlier this year in January.
Okay.
On the Peacock, believe it or not.
Oh.
And I dismissed it at first until I finished watching the first season, and I just fell in love with it. And that is Ted.
Oh, no way.
TV show based on the 2 movies. Yes.
You are making one of our fans very happy. If he's still on board, there's this guy named the boss, I believe is his name, on Twitter that he talks to us every now and then. And he was like, when are you guys going to talk about Ted? So apparently we're finally getting to it. So I hope he hung on there for us.
Yeah, briefly, it's just very it's fun. It's funnier than I thought it was going to be. It's heartwarming, it's nostalgic. The CGI for the actual bear is honestly better than what I saw in Ted 2, believe it or not.
Wow.
So like Peacock threw some money into this, and yes, it's 7 episodes, so it's like really quick moving. It's set in 1993, and
it's his high school years or what?
High school years,
okay.
Yeah, and the cast is good. It's Nick Never heard of the guy who plays John, Max Burkholder.
Mm-hmm.
But you got Scott Grimes, who's been in a bunch of stuff. You'd recognize him. And Georgia Wingham plays the cousin who lives with them. And she was in The Punisher season 2.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's just like one of those 90s. Remind me of those 90s sitcoms that were just good.
Yeah.
You know, and it just makes you feel good. And it was funny. And not like the over the top, like Ted movie stuff at
Right.
time. Like it still had that in there, but it was more spread out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it just was a funny show. And I was like, I just love it. So I had to put it in there. I was like, I'm leaving it there. I'm not kicking it out for anything.
Okay.
So Ted stays at my number 5. That's my biggest curveball of my top 5. And the rest we've talked about on the show. My number 4 is The Gentleman, the Netflix Guy Ritchie World of The Gentleman.
Okay.
So much fun. You know, I was looking hard. I was like, you know, I'm getting that back in there. Number 3, The Bear.
Yep.
Yep. We both discussed this like 2 weeks ago, and it's not as good as the first 2 seasons, but it's still solid. Number 2 is Fallout.
Okay.
On Amazon Prime. Yeah. Absolutely love everything about that show. And my number 1 is Hulu's Shogun.
Okay.
That is my number 1 show of the year.
Yeah, again, a lot of crossover. I am shocked at one that you did not have on, and possibly 2. Basically, I think you've now lost, even with Fallout being there, you've now lost your Amazon Prime membership. I think all your packages are being delayed a few months. I hope you didn't order anything recently, because it's not going to go well for you after this. Because to me, number 5, we talked about it because it counts, even though it started in December, went over into January. My number 5 is Reacher season 2. And for you to not have it on there when you were telling me how much you liked it almost more than
I loved it.
It's wild.
I loved it. I know. I loved it.
But Ted goes over that.
I know.
That's interesting.
It does. I know.
I think you have a new show disease, because I almost did this too, where I'm like, ooh, you know, like the more fancy ones, you want to put the new seasons of something you love in there as high.
Right.
So it's interesting. So that was my number 5, Reacher. Number 4, Baby Reindeer on Netflix. And obviously the Emmys agree with a lot of our picks, by the way, just so you know, because I think a lot of these picks are also up for the Emmys, that the nominations just came out recently. But yeah, Baby Reindeer was a huge success for Netflix. Honestly, I think it went down to number 4 because I found out recently that the guy who created it may have played some kind of like fast and loose with facts.
Oh,
so I'm like, part of the appeal is like, oh my God, this really happened to you. And this, the characters were so vivid and so amazing. And so the show's so addictive because of it. So it's like for it to taint even a little bit, to be like, oh, it's not true. And this crazy woman online is, who it's based on, is like, this isn't true, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, listen to this crazy lady. We know who you are. And it's like, oh, maybe it's not. So that's what's killing me. But as far as a well-constructed show, it's absolutely, one of the best shows of the year. And especially because it was half-hour episodes mostly, it just flew by. So, again, one of the most addictive shows of the year, and that's my number 4. Number 3 is The Gentleman. So, Netflix, again, doing a great job with that Guy Ritchie show. A show that I was, like, intrigued by, but I was like, oh, I like The Gentleman, the movie. But I'm like, how much is Guy Ritchie going to have his influence in here? What characters are we talking about? How does it involve itself with the movie? Blah, blah, blah. Once you watch it, like, none of that matters. Like, the only thing that's, like, great is that Ritchie is more involved probably than I thought he was. And it definitely works, and it's for the better for it. And so many memorable characters. And it looks like, it's going to have legs. Hopefully it's something that Ritchie can, in his busy schedule, keep up with. But I still think, there's a lot of meat on the bone with that show. But yeah, very, very good show. Bear season 3 is my number 2. I keep giving it more of a pass for any of its deficiencies because of the whole Disney told them to extend it to 4 seasons. I feel bad for them more than anything.
Right.
And the highs of that show are still much higher than most shows. So I think that's why it kind of like ascended to where maybe at the expense of something like Baby Reindeer. So that worked for me. And my number one, just like you, is Shogun.
Nice. I didn't think you'd have it at number
Yeah,
one. Awesome.
I do. And it was one of those things. And again, for how much I just said, Netflix killing it with 2 shows, FX killing it with their 2 big shows, and they also lead the Emmy nominations. Shogun, again, it's like the highs are so much higher than most shows, and it was so compelling. The only thing about a lot of these shows is that the endings weren't as satisfying for various reasons, and Shogun isn't immune from that. We kind of talked about that, but it's still very good. I think where it's going to set itself going forward, I think, is helpful now that they kind of said, like, this is not a mini series and it's going to be a recurring series. So it'll be interesting to see where it goes. But, you know, again, very compelling characters, the tightest of tight thrills, and it was so many good scenes, so many memorable scenes that it's undeniable. So I just couldn't leave it off the list, let alone not put it in my number one. So
nice. Dude.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I think we had a little bit more. I'm surprised you didn't put Mr. and Mrs. Smith. You were really high on that. And then obviously you're leaving Reacher off. So again, your packages might go missing.
I know. Well, you know, before we move on to the movies and stuff, you know, we always do honorable mentions or just missed a cut. Now, people, I love Reacher and I love Mr. and Mrs. Smith. In fact, the shows I left off my top 5 were Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Baby Reindeer, Reacher 2, Season 2, Tokyo Vice on Max, and The Boys. Those are my next tier of 5.
Yeah, my honorable mentions would have been Fallout first and foremost, and then much further back, The Boys, because I'm still trying to wrap my mind around how it lost its way during the season, even though it ended strong. So it's a tough one. It's another one that actually kind of feels obviously like the disgusting Boys version of like a Bear situation, where it's like, did they kind of extend this out? Because a lot of it felt like it was spinning its wheels. It was focusing on characters that I didn't care about. It was, you know, kind of I don't know, the Homelander stuff with his son doesn't work a lot for me, even though it's obviously very necessary. But yeah, there's a lot to chew on. And honestly, I thought like some of the cooler stuff was in that last episode. I think you said that to me too.
Yeah, I did. And, you know, we're not here to review the Boys, but yeah, since it just ended and missed my cut, it's like you said, the Homelander stuff was weak. I thought everything with Yui was just awful this year. His whole storyline trajectory, it was just not even needed. The Simon Pegg storyline, not needed. Anyway, it just was a mess until the end. Yeah,
some of them might come back, but who knows, you know, with them, especially because it's going into its final season. But yeah, I told you, I think on the last time we kind of covered it and did that power ranking episode, it's like they have so many things that are like right on the nose. In fact, so on the nose that they actually had to put an apology thing because they got to a political assassination attempt before Trump got shot. So it was an interesting thing that they had to kind of pull back a little bit with that for such a show with such bravado that you knew it was coming anyway, really. But yeah, good, you know, but not great. Definitely their least favorite season of all their seasons. So hopefully that it comes back together a little bit more for the end whenever that comes out. I would assume they're going to try to pump that out fast.
Quick, I would hope.
I hope they don't play the game of like, all right, well, Gen V comes out and then we'll do this. God, I'm like, no, just get it all out right now.
Let's wrap this up.
And like I said, Presumed Innocent would be on my top 5. I don't know where. Probably, you know, in somewhere in the, I don't think it would surpass Shogun, and The Bear is debatable too, but I could see it maybe getting in 3, 4, or 5 somewhere.
If Presumed Innocent was over, it would finish at number 2 for me.
Oh, okay.
It would fall number 2 for me.
See, again, it's one of those shows that I was so engrossed, but there are certain side character stuff and certain aspects of the show. I love this show when it's getting into the law, when it's in the courtroom or trying to get some evidentiary things or hunting something down. I love it. The family stuff, I'm less in love with, and sometimes it really gets, you know, sunken down by that. Not to mention Gyllenhaal is a madman, and I want to see how much of that character design plays into the finale, which will be tomorrow. So, man, yeah, this is going to be crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, so I didn't have anything else on my list there for like honorable mention stuff because, again, I didn't watch as many as you did. So, but I think, again, solid list. The Emmys, definitely thought we were right too. There's tons of nominations for most of our stuff that we said, so that's excellent. Top 5 movies of 2024. Do you have? I think I've maybe said this to you recently, so I apologize. But like, any better opinion than like say earlier in the year where we were like drowning and like, oh my god, these movies? Or did you look at like your long list and all that stuff, and it was just like, it's an okay year? Like, how would you characterize it?
It's an okay year.
Yeah.
I had much tougher time making my TV top 5 than this list. And I think I told you I was coming out between 7 movies. It's really 8. I had 8 movies I was tossing around in my head. Well, one, I'm sure we both have number 1. But like really, the last 4 spots, I'm like, it was pretty easy except for number 5. I felt bad because we'll get into it, but like that, the last slot, I was like juggling between 3 movies. I'm like, okay. Well, other than that, it was pretty easy because, like I said, it's been a soft kind of year, man. We both have like a lot of 3.5s.
A lot of 3.5s.
I have a handful of 4s. We both have 1 5, I think. And so
I think if I looked at it correctly, I think my 5 are the only ones that were 4 stars and up.
Okay.
And then
same here.
And then the next tier is like all that, like a huge smattering of 3.5s. So as far as I'm gonna go into my honorable mentions, and then maybe you can do the same, and then we'll get into the list because the ones that nearly made the cut in this order is Hitman, Civil War, Orion in the Dark from Netflix, Snack Shack, and Kinds of Kindness. I was surprised that was a 10 in my top 10 because I think I said to the person I saw the movie with, I said to her, I was like, man, this movie just keeps like sticking with me. It keeps climbing in my head because I think it just goes there. And I think that's what keeps it in my brain. Will it probably stay this high? I'm sure not. But could it be a top 20 of the year still for being an anthology short story kind of freaky movie? Maybe, and that's impressive to me. So I just wanted to mention those. Did you have any that you wanted to mention before we get into the 5s?
Yeah. Okay, so I had honorable mentions like you. This is like in order from 6 to 7 and 8. My 6th film. The one that got bumped out was Challengers. Is my 6th film of the year, and then Thelma would be number 7.
Oh, see, I thought that was going to land in. Okay.
Yeah, it was close, and then 8 was Hitman. So I'm almost with you on that one.
Yeah. All right, well then let's rip the Band-Aid off, man. Let's get into the top 5. Go for it.
All right. Are we doing 5 through 1 again? Or
yeah, you can do 5 to 1. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now, this isn't recent bias or anything, but it's just a fucking good movie. And I have to thank our friend Amenta for pointing me in this direction. That just newly released on Netflix, Land of Bad, is my number 5.
See, I know, again, absolutely a Shane movie. And knowing now that what you said was 6 through 8, I'm like, oh, all the Shane movies are coming out now. I'm like, I can almost name your freaking top 5, or at least the movies that land in there. But so I'm interested. Although I thought Thelma might have been in there. That was the one that I was surprised missed.
It was close.
Yeah, because you talked that up pretty good last time.
I did, and it just missed a cut. But yeah, Liam Hemsworth, Russell Crowe, the other Hemsworth brother, Luke, is in this for a little bit.
Yeah.
And Milo Ventimiglia, I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
From
I
Heroes?
hope I came close there. Yeah. Or This Is Us or whatever.
Yeah, sure.
Rocky Balboa. Yeah. It's your basic search and rescue mission when something goes awry. It reminded me of a better version of Bat 21, which I know that's an old callback, or a reference with Danny Glover and Gene Hackman, or Behind Enemy Lines with Owen Wilson.
Right.
This is just a better version of that. I love the set pieces. I thought this was Liam Hemsworth. I know he doesn't have a big catalog of movies, but he was outstanding in this film. the whole cast. Russell Crowe for the bit he played in here,
Mm-hmm.
which I still have issues, not issues. I have trouble, and it makes me sad seeing Russell Crowe in movies now. I'm like, oh God.
Right.
But the small role as the captain of the drone pilot helping Liam Hemsworth escape from behind enemy lines, he was outstanding.
Mm.
Like, whatever, just great. This movie just had me engaged. To me, it was an underrated military movie, which I know are a dime a dozen, but it's just the cast, the writing, the set pieces, I thought all worked. And Hemsworth just freaking shined, man. I was just engrossed in this movie from start to finish. Has a 2-hour runtime, and it just kind of it breezes right through, man. Like
Nice.
There's no really soft spots per se. Like you're just engaged in everything, man. And yeah, it strikes at my heart of military movies and action movies, and it was great. So yeah, that bumped the better produced or better acting movie challengers. But again, this is a Shane list, so the Badland is Land of Bad is number 5.
Yeah, that is a very Shane move. Absolutely.
And
I agree. No. I don't have a big list of Liam Hemsworth stuff either. So it's literally like the Hunger Games stuff, and I think that's about it. And
even a lesser list for Luke Hemsworth. So,
I couldn't even pick him out of a lineup, I don't think. So, yeah.
And number 4, I really had this high on my list at the beginning of the year and just kept kind of falling down the list, but I couldn't get it out of my top 5. Is Love Lies Bleeding, which they just put on Max right now.
Yeah, I heard
this past weekend. I still love this film, even though, again, it falls to the third act kind of fumble a little bit. But still, the rest of the movie held up for me. It's gritty. It's dirty. The acting is great. Kristen Stewart, just fantastic. So that's number 4. Number 3, this was number 2 for a long time, but it bumped down. It was Furiosa. Chris Hemsworth making the movie along with Anya Taylor-Joy. Is that right?
Yep.
I got that right? Yeah, just fantastic. My number 2, and I don't care what anyone says, Boy Kills World.
Yep.
I love this movie. I'm
telling you, like I'm sitting here going, yep, those are all the Shane movies coming through. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely love it, man. Best action film of the year, hands down. Enjoyable, fun, crazy action, everything. Skarsgård kills it. I love this film. So that's my number 2. It's very rewatchable. I've seen it like 3 times already. So yeah. And number 1, obviously, this has not been knocked off the throne, and that is Dune 2.
Yeah.
I mean, we can go the rest of the year, and that movie's not moving out of number 1.
It's gonna be real hard. I know
it's gonna be tough. There's one contender for me, and that's coming out this week.
This week? Oh, Deadpool Wolverine. Sure. Yeah. If it has the fun quotient and isn't too convoluted with multiverse stuff, that's my big fear. If they really fuck that up, it's gonna be tough sledding. But hopefully, I hope it's good. And I hope they're really just holding back.
I do too. But Dune 2 is just a masterpiece, and I don't say that very often. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, we have a lot of the same ones. Shocker, because we've been kind of going through this the whole year. But I enjoy your list. My number 5 is Love Lies Bleeding. Another one. You're absolutely right. I'm like, damn, this still is holding on here. This is pretty great. I agree with you, the third act stuff, but again, it's one of those that I allow it because it at least fit the theme, and they were kind of like bringing it in slowly and utilizing, like you said, the incredibly growing woman, as it were, over that. And O'Brien, she was so good. And honestly, still one of the better performances of the year. So I'm happy that that's still in my top 5. My number 4 is The Bike Riders, which I almost like compared to Love Lies Bleeding in the sense of like, I don't love everything here, but the highs, the hang, the grittiness, the strong characterization, the performances, all that is so good that I didn't care whatsoever. I can hang in that movie forever. You want to be around that campfire. You want to be in the fight. It's great, and I really liked it quite a bit. Not a perfect movie. That's why it's at number 4. But again, just so many, like that cast is so deep. Like it only is challenged by like Dune Part 2 with how deep that was, like in terms of the quality of bench they got there. My number 3 is Furiosa. definitely echo, we obviously gave it its flowers. People who, waited on this movie, didn't go see it in theaters, you're an idiot, especially if you
Yep.
like the Mad Max movies. If you just were like, no Max, no movie, go to hell. You missed out on quite a ride. And a pretty decent Max substitute in there with her
Oh,
love interest there sort of at the end. So I'm all for that. And yeah, Hemsworth was really great. So it's a great year for the Hemsworth crew, apparently, on this podcast. Outside of his nose, maybe in Furiosa. That's about it. But yeah, George Miller with another excellent movie and a great addition to the franchise. My number 2 is Challengers. I know, this one I honestly went back and forth whether that and Furiosa, like they're like neck and neck for me. I really kind of have flip-flopped, where I think at one point I did have this at number 3 and Furiosa at 2, but yeah, I just the score, the thrill ride of this relationship and wherever it goes, and probably my favorite performances of the year, maybe in this movie. They're damn strong. And I love the utilization of the tennis, even though, some people have complained like about, oh, Zendaya barely moves her legs when she's like, winning some of the matches. Get out of here. Who cares? If that's what you take away from Challengers, you have no business reviewing movies. But yeah, it's really good. The Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross score and everything about that. I was just so compelled, even right up to the very end. And yeah, Dune Part 2 is my number 1. So hell of a year again for Zendaya. To have my number 1 and number 2 movies of the year, and both did well at the box office. So awesome to see. Good for her, and obviously we'll see when we get another Spider-Man if we ever do, or wherever she goes. But if not, even just Dune Part 3 coming up, her still hanging on. That's great. So
yeah, it's a good list. Like I said, it's tough when you're new to, you know how tough it is, man. Like I had challenged at my number 5 spot for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I really, it's just tough getting to the last couple spots on your list, man. It's just, it makes it fun too, though.
Yeah. I don't know. And like I said, I keep track of my top 20 throughout the year just to kind of see. And I'm glad that some of the movies recently like kind of got knocked off. Like, I think my recent cuts were like Ministry of Gentlemanly Warfare and some of these other kind of like meh, like okay movies that were still kind of hanging on in a top 20 that are no longer. So I think my 20 is still a little more solid. Like the loose ends at the end are now like, Arcadian First Omen territory is like down in the bottom of my 20. So I think that makes for a pretty good year. And honestly, it's a shocking amount of horror for this year. And I think that's because the year they kind of just went for it. And like, as we noted, like there's no horror in our top 5s, but I think it's been solid enough that I think there's probably 5 or 6 in my top 25.
Oh, absolutely. I was going to say, you mentioned Arcadia, Abigail, the Immaculate, First Omen.
Yeah, Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah, even Longlegs. I mean, even though, whatever. But
no, Longlegs is in my top 20, probably.
Yeah, but I mean, so it is a solid year for horror. So if you look at my top 20 or 25, it's littered. I just couldn't get in the top 5. I just was not... There wasn't that one that just like really like,
yeah.
So
is there any, I didn't prep you for this, but is there any movie that you're like maybe the most disappointed in for the year? Like anything that you were like all about and then just didn't work out, or it's like, okay.
Oh man. Put me on the spot, huh?
Yeah. Just out of curiosity.
Honestly, In a Violent Nature off the top of my head.
Yeah, sure.
I was really kind of like looking forward to that, and that just kind of like just didn't do it for me. Outside of that, no. I mean, everything else, I kind of got what I expected out of it. But,
yeah, I mean, Maxine was a little bit of a bump down. I thought that had like top 5 potential at least. Although we kind of said it when we reviewed it. It's like I should have seen it coming because it kind of got the same score as the other movies, X and Pearl. So why should
Right.
this be any different? But I don't know, man. You get caught up in the 80s in that cast and you're like, this is going to be great. And you're like,
Right.
it was good,
Yeah.
but not great.
Yeah, I'm with you. Outside of that, everything else, there's no big disappointment. I think for me, yeah, you know what? I'll say it. Even though I gave it a 3.5, the Bike Riders was a letdown for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I really had that going a different way, and I kind of
that
had
was
it
your
hyped up
Maxine?
yeah, that was my Maxine.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Still a good movie. My boy Tom Hardy. It's just it just fell a little flat of expectations for me. So those are the two: In a Violent Nature and Bike Riders. Kind of not what I thought they would be.
Yeah, because Maxine is 11 for me, but to me, it's just I thought it had top 5 written all over it.
Yeah.
So that's the tough part. But yeah, I like, and probably if I had to say like movies that came out of nowhere, if you have those maybe in your head, like to me, it's Orion in the Dark and Snack Shack. I think those are like I didn't hear anything of it before the year started, not even a whisper, and not even a trailer. And I liked both of them quite a bit to where they're both in my top 10 of the year.
Okay, a movie that came out of nowhere for me, even though I saw one trailer on it, but there wasn't a lot of talk, was Thelma.
Right.
And honestly, Arcadian kind of came out of nowhere for me.
Yeah.
Especially Arcadian, because I saw one movie poster for it.
Right.
Never saw a trailer for it. So I was like, went and saw. I was like, you know what? People are missing out. This is pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
So those are the two. Arcadian is probably the biggest one. Came out of nowhere.
Late Night with the Devil too for me too. I would say.
Yeah.
Just something that like I didn't hear about, and with a great character actor, but not known for being a lead in the lead. It's hard to market a movie like that.
I need to go back real quick and just throw, because now I'm looking at my list, and I'll throw one movie that I was thoroughly disappointed in, more so than the other two I mentioned, because I love Matthew Vaughn.
Oh,
and that is Argyle.
Oh, yes. I totally forgot about that. You're absolutely right.
And that is Argyle. The cast, I was so hyped, and I love Matthew Vaughn. The guy never had a bomb, and it was a dud.
Yeah.
So hands down, Argyle, most disappointing of my year.
That's true. I agree with you. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah. I should have gone through like more thoroughly, but yeah, that was a stinker. There was so much early on that I think we just were like, God, this movie here sucks, and we were just dying in those first couple months. I had no expectations for Madam Web. Obviously, that's probably like a story of like how bad was this going to be, and you're like, Jesus, this bad. So that's definitely one of those. I'm trying to remember. We had a few. What was like our bottoms thing where we were like, this is 1 star, fuck it, kind of thing.
Lisa Frankenstein was the one
that was a disappointment too, because I was all about that too. I was like, this has like Tim Burton Heathers vibes. Like, what are we doing? And it's like, nothing, because this movie is overrated.
In fact, in that week, I gave out back-to-back ones, and that was Lisa Frankenstein and Madam Web.
Yep. I believe we both did. Yeah. So that was a rough stretch. That was like early February, and we were just like, God, this year, Jesus. Because that was before, basically, it's like before Dune and Challengers, it was real dark.
Oh,
it was real dark.
Bleak.
It was real bad.
It was bleak.
Yeah, it was really hard to get through. And even then, there wasn't even a lot of TV shows that popped by that point, too, I think. Like maybe The Gentleman was out, and obviously Reacher as the year crossed over, but yikes. Shogun didn't come out for months after that, and some of these other ones. So, and I didn't watch Baby Reindeer after it was out for like a few weeks. I got on that train. So yeah.
Yeah, the TV year didn't really pick up until like late March, April, May is when for me all the TV stuff kind of like hit.
Yeah, the writer's strike messed everything up. The whole industry, movies and TV. So it's not shocking that it was a slow start. I have optimism, I guess, for maybe stuff coming out for the rest of the summer. That might be interesting with now we're starting to see. I saw the lineup for the Toronto International Film Festival, and I was like, okay. There's nothing where I'm like, oh, yeah, here we go, you know. But like I said, Conclave looks good. I'm interested in that. There's a few other surprises. I know, like stuff that came out in the, like Cannes and things of that nature over the summer that, you know, are now going to hit the fall festival circuit. So I there's a bunch, and obviously there's going to be like weird shit like Megalopolis to come and other things.
Oh God.
But yeah, it's going to be an interesting end of the year. But I think soon we need to do like our top 5 most anticipated for the rest of the year, only so I could do some digging into like being hyped for something. Because I think after this weekend, like you said, with Deadpool Wolverine, it's a little spotty.
You know, not to get into the weeds, but talking about hype, and the trailer I just saw, and it's probably been out for like 2 weeks now, but the new Aliens movie,
yeah.
I was like lukewarm on it. I saw the trailer. I'm like, huh, okay.
Because I'm lukewarm on Fede Alvarez, and I've been lukewarm on the last couple Alien movies. So I don't know where
I think the trailer kind of elevated me wanting to see it, because I was like hemming and hawing. I was like, I'll see if I get time. But I think I'm actually looking forward to it based on the trailer, and I'll probably be let down again. But like
the back half of that trailer is almost a virtual copycat of Aliens.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but
like shot for shot, I was like, are they allowed to do this? It's like it's not the same movie, right?
Yeah, but no, yeah. So anyway, I don't know why. I just was engrossed by the trailer, not so much with Gladiator 2, because that was a trailer I saw like a week and a half ago when we weren't doing the show, and it just came to my mind. But it's like just like Gladiator 1, like it doesn't even have to be linked to Gladiator except for the link to Russell Crowe, and that's it. I'm like, it could be a whole nother movie.
Yeah, my favorite thing about that as well, I've seen a lot from a lot of people, is Denzel just really not trying to do anything like where it feels period piece wise. It just feels like Denzel just landed in Roman times. You know, it's pretty dope. I'll take it. I don't care. Let's just go for it. But yeah, I really have to dig through the crates now to see what I'm most excited for. Because I'm probably forgetting some like blockbuster or something that's going to come out at the end of the year or something. Because it's weird that we don't have like the big movie stars this year or the big time directors, because they all kind of came out last year.
Yep.
So like, there's no Tom Cruise movie, there's no Mission Impossible, which is wild.
No.
That, you know, because again, that got kind of pushed back because of COVID stuff and other kind of factors, the writer strike and everything else that got pushed back. So I'm just, you know, we're, you know, blessed by having, you know, I thought we were maybe going to have a Tarantino movie, but that looks like a year or two away. And then Paul Thomas Anderson, his new movie is next year. So like, there's a lot of people that, you know, like Christopher Nolan obviously just came out with one. Scorsese just came out with one. Like, so a lot of my favorites, like they all just kind of spit something out. So, you know, we're actually, you know, it's great that we got Kinds of Kindness to at least get Yorgos to go back-to-back years, but it's tough. And even then, that was like, you know, 3 short films spliced together. So, you know, it's interesting. So we'll definitely have to take a look and see what's going on. Anything else before we get out of here, sir?
That's it. Deadpool Wolverine.
Yeah. Any TV shows that like, because now obviously we went through the TV. Is there anything that you're like, because did you enjoy Cobra Kai?
I did. I thought the first 2 episodes started really slow.
It did.
I'm like, yeah. It really picked up during episode 3, 4, and 5. I liked where they were going there.
Yeah,
I did. So yeah, it landed on a good feet. Started slow, but finished strong. So I ended up liking the little 5-episode drop.
Yeah, it's another show that got like delayed in its progress too. So obviously, I think I'd have a better understanding of it if both parts were available now. You know, and obviously because we haven't even gotten to the Shanghai Taikai, whatever it's called. So we haven't gotten to the international tournament yet. So I liked how they did the narrowing down and all these other things. So I'm into that. So that'll be interesting. And you know, they're doing 2 parts and then like some big whoop-de-doo like finale thing. Well, no, there's like the finale separate from the 2 parts, and then it's going to lead into the new Karate Kid movie.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I think once they knew what the date was for that, they just kind of like backloaded everything to be in stride. So but I think part 2 is like November or something. It's
November. Yeah, it's early.
It's not far away. So
Nope.
that'll be good. Yeah, man. Other than that, I can't think of too many TV shows that I've seen like previews for that I'm all jazzed up about.
Oh, the Instigators with Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, and Apple comes out August 9th. I'm looking forward to that one.
It's a movie though, right?
Is it a movie? Okay, sorry.
I believe it's a movie.
I thought it was a show.
But
okay,
hey,
my bad.
That's a movie I'm looking forward to.
Okay.
So that's good. And I'm looking forward to Wolves, the Brad Pitt, George Clooney movie. I'm looking forward to that too, as far as like stuff later on. I think that's like August, September range.
September.
Yeah. So, and that's another Apple movie, I think too. So.
Yep. The Apple show I was thinking of is Lady in the Lake with Natalie Portman.
Heard great things about it. Just premiered over the weekend. The first 2 episodes are available.
Yep. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's about it.
It's a good point. All right, man. Well, great job as always. Hopefully people, kind of have gotten a big chunk of like, if you haven't seen or haven't heard of some of the stuff that we talked about, go for it. Obviously high recommendations. This is our best of the year so far stuff. So go for that. Obviously next week we will be covering Deadpool Wolverine and then doing our usual like Marvel State of the Union. Although it's going to be a short conversation because
it is.
I believe Agatha is the only show on the horizon and all the movies are kind of up in the air. And then we could maybe have a discussion about the Russos coming back because I'm sure you saw that they're going to take over the new Avengers movie. So that'll be a good conversation to have, of course, after watching this movie. So be sure to subscribe, tell a friend, do all you have to make sure that you come back and get all that info in your face and in your ears next week. Be sure to follow us on the socials at Recent Act Pod. We look forward to seeing you next week for more recent activity.